peanut allergies. How serious is this? And is it something that everybody needs to be aware of?
I think peanut allergy is a really significant issue for the patient, the child, but also the family and our community at large. I think in North America, we're seeing more peanut allergy than ever before, and about 20% of these kids are going to outgrow this allergy, but the other 80% are not, and they're going to have a lifelong peanut allergy where they can have mild, moderate, or even severe allergic reactions. So this increase in prevalence and ongoing severity has driven a need for an effective treatment option. And I think, when I first started doing this, our options were simply to have families avoid peanuts and give them an epinephrine auto-injector. But for most families, and for many families, and for clinicians like myself, this avoidance strategy is not enough because accidental reactions absolutely happen. We know that, unfortunately, despite the best efforts of the families, reactions can occur. My feeling is that the good news is that within the allergy sphere, there's been a lot of recent research and innovation that I think is going to change how we approach the management of.
Yeah, and being a mother of someone who has a peanut allergy goes beyond just writing down a list of things they can't eat, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's making sure people know how to use an EpiPen if I'm not around her. It's making sure that she knows to ask a trusted adult what she can eat, reading ingredients all the time, or making substitutes for birthday parties and other events so that my daughter can still be a part of things, but be safe at the same time. It's a lot of vigilance that I didn't anticipate when I had her.
Thinking about other families that are having to make this kind of call and adjustment to things that they eat now, what's been the simplest adjustment to make?
Believe it or not, it's been adjusting my own anxiety and allowing myself to realize that there's a lot of things my daughter can have instead of only focusing on the things she can't have. And doing that just kind of opened up the world of possibilities, and also to remember that she's a child like any other child who happens to have food allergies, so that I don't lead with that source of fear. And I don't want to prohibit her from just living her best life and doing anything that she really sets her mind to.
Doctor, as you think about options for children moving forward, what are the options they have for parents? And also, what's your call to action for folks watching this interview right now?
Yeah, I think that I'm an investigator for an ongoing phase 3 clinical trial called VITESSE. It's with an investigational skin patch called the VIA Skin Peanut. And this trial is for children ages 4 to 7 years of age who have a confirmed peanut allergy. And the amazing thing about the VIA Skin Peanut patch is that it has such a tiny amount of peanut protein on it. So about 1/1000th of a peanut, basically. And this patch is applied to the skin of the back in these kids. And nothing's eaten by mouth, so that's kind of amazing. And on an ongoing basis, with this exposure, what that peanut protein does is it stimulates the special immune cells that are present in the back and the skin of the back. And what that does is kind of retrain the immune system. And so treatment with this type of a patch leads to desensitization, which refers to the ability to increase the eat more peanut protein before having an allergic reaction, and making it less likely that a child will have a reaction on an accidental exposure. So while families are going to avoid peanuts, they're going to still carry their epinephrine auto-injector. To me, this is basically like acting like a buffer, or almost like wearing a seatbelt, and it can reduce the likelihood of an allergic reaction, and can be potentially a life-saving tool for children who have an accidental exposure to peanuts. It's a very exciting approach, and I think a great option for some families to consider.
And then the last thing is, what websites do you want to send people to, or information do you want them to get?
Yeah, if families are interested in considering this and they have a child ages 4 to 7 with confirmed peanut allergy, they can go to the VITESSE website, VITESSE, at vitesseallergystudy.com.